Hey guys, so today I am going to go over what an ABG is. So for those of you who are unemployed, think of it as a little tutorial. But what is an ABG? An ABG is an archetype for an Asian girl. And a lot of my viewers, they don't know what an ABG is, hence why I'm making this video. But if we go over here, I have a few artifacts to investigate. So right here, this video, for example, this would be classified as ABG heaven when there's multiple ABGs, which is hot Asian girls. ABG stands for Asian baby girl. Originally Asian baby gangster, but we can delve into the history behind it in a little bit. But if we see here, they also included the hashtag ABG to make sure that you know that they are ABGs. And I'm throwing it around like, I don't know, like it's an acronym for the FBI. But don't be fooled. They will ruin your life. They look super innocent, but they're not. And if I were to describe them, I would describe them as reincarnates of hell.
Old friends real mad cause I'm up now. Let me show you how a real nigga get down. Go ahead, get going. Go ahead, get going, get going.
But then we go over here, and there's another one. There's even more. It's they're like a dime a dozen. I see a bunch of them all the time. Blonde ABG hair for the summer. It's also an aesthetic. But let's go into ChatGPT and figure out if ChatGPT could give us a very detailed response of what ABG is. Probably not, but well, ABG can stand for arterial blood gas. Asian baby girl, which is a slang. Before it was known as derogatory, now it's just a pop culture term. Describing a certain aesthetic slash lifestyle often used online or on social media. Please define what an Asian baby girl is and provide details. So an Asian baby girl is a slang term, what we covered before. But the core meaning is they're typically portrayed as a young Asian woman associated with a bold, nightlife oriented, and trend driven lifestyle. The trend blends fashion, social behavior, and pop culture influences. So their natural habitat tends to be nightclubs, tends to be raves, and it tends to be house parties. Now, if you see one, I advise you to stay clear away and very far away from a natural apex predator. So, common characteristics. These traits are descriptive of the stereotype, not something all people labeled ABG identify with, but this is, again, they come a dime a dozen and they all fit a certain style and a certain mold. So, the appearance heavy or glam makeup, winged eyeliner, false eyelashes, dyed hair, blonde, pastel, or vivid colors, long acrylic nails, fashion forward or revealing outfits, designer accessories, or streetwear. Sometimes they have tats. The tats they'll have are cherry blossoms, dragon tattoos, butterfly tattoos, or possibly ribbons. And if they have a tramp stamp, oh, you may be dealing with a natural born predator. And again, stay away from them. They may run your pockets and they may ruin your life a little bit. They're known for toxicity usually. So, lifestyle and interests clubbing, raves, EDM festivals basically what we touched upon, their natural habitat. They care about social media presence. That's why you see a whole bunch of them on TikTok slash Instagram. They like bubble tea. They like matcha, nightlife, night food spots. There's this thing that's this place in California that's very popular and it's known for it, which is I think it's called Seaside. Luxury brands or flashy aesthetics. So they'll be driving a Lexus, they'll be driving either a BMW, a Porsche, they could be driving a Ferrari. How do they afford it? I have no idea. Car culture. So there's some ABGs that like the German brands. They like expensive luxury models like maybe Acura. But there's also ABGs out there that like JDM. So they'll have like Skylines, maybe a Supra, or their boyfriend has those said cars. I like those cars. I mean, sounds perfect for me. Wait, no. I just recovered from one. I can't get another one. Not yet. Personality: confident, outspoken, playful, embraces baddie or party girl energy. And usually they're more, what's the word? They're more, let's just go with crazy. Um, but man, that's a whole list. And they're pretty obvious, you know. You see one at the club, just know that this is an ABG. And there's some girls, it's like, what is it? Wolf in sheep's clothing, where they'll dress up as an ABG, but they're not an ABG. They could be worse, they could be a lot better. They could be innocent, who knows? It's all usually a gamble. But clearly here there's a montage of what an ABG is. Speaking from personal experience, there was a girl that she didn't classify herself as an ABG, but I think she was some form of variant of an ABG. And she was asking me for a Van Cleef, a $10,000 Van Cleef, in the first month I was talking to her. And I still didn't cut it off. And she was always the type of person to have this slogan, which is it's my way or the highway, which is fine, right? Women, they know what they want and they have a lot of options. But you can understand, you can probably visualize how it could get toxic just a little bit, you know. They may make you feel worthless. They may call you a whole bunch of bad words, but I can't lie, it is a little fun to entertain such a thing. Yeah, they all seem to do a lot of dancing, which is a good thing, I guess. I guess. Oh my God. If you're the girl in this video watching this, I'm single. You could ruin my life. I have no problem with it. Until I do have a problem with it, but yo, MLK had a dream for us to be together is crazy work. But let's go into the historical context. What is an ABG? Because ABG is a very pop culture term now, but originally an ABG was a Chinese American girl with connections to gangster culture. And it's very different from the definition now, right? ABGs now, they're attracted to ABBs or mid-white guys. I might be classified as an ABB. I personally don't know myself, but a lot of my friends call me that, which tattoos, the hairstyle, maybe it's my facial features. A lot of ABGs and ABBs, or originally they were like Vietnamese, now kind of downgraded to now it's every Asian, East Asian, Southeast Asian person that is moderately attractive and fits that archetype. But going back to the historical context, the historical context is originally it was very derogatory. It was a sort of, it just meant like you had no future, right? Because of the gangster origins. Um, Let me see. The original ABG look and attitude served as a direct rebellion against the pervasive model minority stereotype, which cast Asian women as passive, studious, and submissive. The aesthetic is characterized by a specific style of dress, makeup, and an association with nightlife, partying, and rave culture. Basically, reinforcing everything that we've seen before. The 1990s origins, I don't think this is true. The origins was from California, from the West Coast, and it was primarily Southeast Asian women who, after the Vietnam War and after the wars in Southeast Asia, they immigrated here as refugees, and they were usually in lower income communities with African Americans and Hispanics. And when you're growing up in a certain community, you tend to adopt their trends and their fashion. So it was kind of like a ratchet style that began to emerge in the Asian American community, specifically, primarily Southeast Asians. And the term and aesthetic was repopularized on the internet, especially through the Facebook group Subtle Asian Traits. I was in this Facebook group when I was in high school, and ABGs wasn't really a very well known term and wasn't thrown out there so carelessly and effortlessly. Um, Before it was, the fashion wasn't really there, but then it kind of reemerged after that Facebook group, which is a good thing because it pushed out Asian culture and Asian subcultures a lot more than traditional media, traditional mediums of media, like news and, I don't know, MTV, uh, usual TV stations that were very big in pop culture back in the day. Yeah, so the ABG aesthetic, while evolving over time, maintains several core visual elements that creates a look that is simultaneously feminine, polished, and edgy. A full face of makeup, perfectly filled in defined eyebrows, dramatic eyelashes, and it's intensified with colored contact lenses. And it's complemented by bleach dyed hair, usually blonde, ombre, and balayage. I don't know how to say that. I'm not an ABG. The typical wardrobe consists of dark, often black clothing, creating a silhouette that pairs form-fitting tops like bralettes and tube tops with baggy pants or jerseys. The aesthetic is further complemented with accessories, specific accessories and body art. So large hoop earrings, long manicured acrylic nails, often in a coffin shape. Tattoos are also a prominent feature. So back in the day, ABGs were known to have like full sleeves, full sleeve tats, and again, they were known as girls that would be affiliated with gangs, Southeast Asian gangs usually. I remember as a kid, my father would tell me to stay away from certain places because these Asian gangs would operate. So they would operate in New York, the East Coast, the West Coast, and California. I'm not sure if there were giant presences of Asian gang culture outside of these two states, but they were primarily there. So enough of going into the historical context of what an ABG is. Let's just go back to the visual examples once more. Clearly, she knows that she is attractive. Oh my God. Wow. Life is good. Here, you tried ABG makeup. So now it's an aesthetic, which it's a good aesthetic, it really is. Um, but, a true ABG, there are negative stereotypes associated with this. Um, Now, how do you attract them? Well, you attract them by participating in the Asian culture a lot more, which is boba, matcha, you like getting Korean barbecue, hot pot. You I don't know if you need to be tatted. You don't really need to be tatted. You don't need to be an ABB. Again, if you're a mid-white guy, you still have a good chance. But liking Asian culture, having similarities and references, definitely do help because you have more to talk about. And if you rave, even better. You rave, you like going to clubs and all that, you like nightlife, then this may be the girl for you. Now it gets to a point where you may think that you are you're not a big clubbing person, right? Like you go clubbing to secure an ABG baddie. But then what happens after? You will have to continue to fund the lifestyle and go to raves and go to clubs.
How you're gonna bag an ABG baddie? First of all, you gotta know what kind of Asian she is. Is she Viet Korean? Oh, you better hope she's not Viet. What music she likes, you know? Like usually like all the ABGs really like Keshi or like all those underground indie artists. 2, you gotta know how to rave. It's gonna be your rave babe, bro. You should be able to lift her up on your shoulders. If you don't like raving, then you don't deserve an ABG baddie. That's their life, bro.
But fear not. After you hit 30 something years old, you will tend and she will tend to slow down. And then that's when it's all smooth sailing. So just keep up the lifestyle for like 10, 15 years and you're good. You really are. Like, what's wrong with clubbing for 10, 15 years? Like, you only live once, right? But there are downsides and there are pros. Pros, you get a baddie. Cons, your life gets ruined. And my that situationship ABG hybrid variant that I had before, she also asked for VIP tickets to EDC. So don't be surprised, Vivian Tran or Sarah Nguyen asks you for EDC tickets coming out of your wallet, which isn't that expensive either. You should have money. All women are expensive. Just know that ABGs are a little bit more expensive. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to my entire rambling of what an ABG is. I can go into what ABBs are. ABBs are, again, the derivative, the counterpart of ABGs. Usually they're tatted and they have black t-shirts, black clothing, and they have a chain. Me, I'm not an ABB, even though my friends say I'm an ABB because I don't have a chain. I have the tattoos. I may look like it, the facial features, I am part Vietnamese, but I am not an ABB. If I am, I'm a wholesome ABB, who won't ruin any lives. I think I'm like an angel from God type. Okay, that's enough. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys catch my next video. Maybe my next video will be going on about my tats and kind of going into the meanings behind them, each motif. But thank you guys for sticking around for this long, if you guys did. But if you guys want to listen to me ramble more about topics like this, or just follow me in my life and my little journey on social media, then subscribe and drop me a like. I appreciate it. Every like helps. And I do have TikTok. It's Jay Novawi. So don't be a stranger. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys.